Hey, what's up everyone? Alex Cormier here and welcome to the Mindful Mindset Masterclass. So today I'm going to be talking about 3 reasons why you might be feeling unmotivated, that your energy is low and your drive, your productivity just isn't up to par and where you'd like it to be. So the first thing is typically what I see in my clients and what I've seen in myself is overwhelming negative self-talk or overwhelming just thinking, overwhelming negative thinking. So just focusing on the problems, focusing on the lack, focusing on what you're not doing, just focusing on the negative of what's going on, right, in your life or about yourself, right? So how do you talk to yourself? How would you rate your level of the quality of your self-talk when you make a mistake or, just going through your day? Are you overly self-critical of what you do, what you say, how you are, what you don't do? Do you judge yourself a lot? Do you blame yourself for things? Do you doubt yourself? Do you doubt your ability to succeed or to achieve the goal, right? Are you focusing on everything that you don't have or everything that you aren't? Right? These are all thoughts that can creep up and become very overwhelming and drain your motivation, drain your drive, and drain your energy, right? And just leaves you in a place of kind of efforting and pushing through your day, right? We've all had days where things were awesome, things were flowing, things were easy and effortless, and we've all had days where things are just not going, everything is going wrong, or everything is not going how we want it to be going. And everything takes extra effort to get done. And what I've seen is it's often that pattern of negative self-talk and negative thinking, focusing on the stress, the worries, or the, what's not going right. So the way to correct that is very simple. It's very simple practice, but it's something that not a lot of us will do because it's so simple, right? Often the simplest things are the hardest things to implement, or we often don't give them enough credit and just think, oh, is that really going to work, right? Well, I can tell you that it does, and I can assure you that it's worked amazingly for me. And that is just really learning to pay more attention to the self-talk, right? And correcting that. And then correcting your perception of the situations that you perceive as bad, as negative, right? There's 2 ways that I look at life, is that life is either offering me a gift or offering me a lesson. And when I look at all my problems and the things that aren't going right in my life, or the lack of the things that I want in my life that I don't have, and the things that I'm not yet, right? Like maybe I want to be more confident, or maybe I want to have more courage, or whatever it is. If I look at that as a lesson, my optimism and my energy immediately goes up, because then I try to look at, okay, well, what's the lesson, and what do I need to learn? What is life trying to teach me in this moment, right? Who do I need to become in this moment, or who I need to become in order to feel more secure in myself, or to be more positive and have a better relationship with myself? So that is the one perception that I use to look at life that allows me to stay optimistic and energized and continue to grow as well, right? Every problem that appears like a problem in your life, sure, they may not be pleasant, they might suck, but they're there to teach you something. They're there to help you grow. And if you look at life that way, it gets a lot better. But if you're not doing anything to grow and to improve your situation or yourself, then life starts to happen to you, and you start to get frustrated, stressed, depressed, and unmotivated, because life is happening to you and everything's outside of your control or your responsibility. The one thing that you can do for yourself is take responsibility for where you are, accept where you are, and to take responsibility for how you internalize your experiences in life, good and bad, right? We can't change or control what happens in our life sometimes. Things can happen to us, but they're really happening for us. And the way we internalize those negative situations, problems, it's really going to change how you approach them and allow you to overcome them with more ease and grace and optimism and belief and trust, which is going to make things a lot better for you. So that is the first thing that you can do. The second thing is just writing every night, every evening, what are 3 things I loved about myself today? What are 3 things that I did well today? Right? And when you focus on that, you reinforce the positive about the day, the positive about yourself, and you start to build a more positive self-image, and you reinforce those gifts and those personalities or those things that you love about yourself that you know are true, right? I was kind to this person today. I love the way that I handled this situation. I was really creative in finding a solution to this problem that I had, right? You reinforce that. And when you write something down, you're activating about 900 neural pathways in your brain. So you're creating more neural connections in your mind versus when you just think positively. Writing has more brain activation, and the more connections that you have in the brain, you're going to basically shift your negative ball of energy. You're going to tip the scale to the positive, so that eventually it becomes your unconscious way of being. Eventually, you just become so secure and positive in yourself, no matter what happens around you, you just stay at that higher level of energy and confidence and belief in yourself. So that is number 1. Number 2 is fear. Fear of not being enough, fear of disappointment, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of responsibility, fear of the uncertainty, fear of uncertainty. It's all fear, and it's all the same physiological reaction, which is usually overwhelming stress and worry in the body. And stress and cortisol in the body restricts your energy and your brain function and your ability to willfully do the things that you want to do. You know, if you overwork yourself, that's a symptom of fear, right? You fear of not being enough, or you fear of fearing of failure, right? And you work yourself to burnout because you feel like you're not enough. Fear like you're never doing enough in your life. And if you often try to always please everyone around you, that's also a fear of not being enough, fear of disappointment, right? And if you take on other people's problems as your responsibility to fix them, it's also another form of fear, right? Fearing that you won't be loved unless you take responsibility for that person's happiness or growth or whatever it is that you're taking responsibility for, instead of trying to empower them to take responsibility for their own, right? It's good to help people, don't get me wrong. I love to help people. That's why I got into this work. But often we can take responsibility for other people's growth and happiness, and that's what makes us unhappy. And that's usually coming from a place of fear that's rooted in past conditioning. So if you procrastinate, you take on too much, you don't allow yourself to rest, those are all symptoms of fear, right? Avoidance, procrastination, distracting yourself can all be symptoms of feeling fear, and that can be why you're feeling unmotivated to do the things that you want to do. And the way to overcome that is not an easy one. Overcoming fear and rewiring your patterns around fear is something that can take some time. It's a process, often can require healing and forgiveness and really shifting how you're being in the world and how you're showing up, and really starting to shift your beliefs around your life and life itself, work, health, people, relationships. It takes basically what I like to call neurohacking, right? Or inner engineering, right? Going into your brain, into yourself, and figuring out, what am I believing about this that's driving my behavior? What fear do I have right now? What emotion that's driving this behavior? Is it guilt? Is it shame? Right? It's all rooted in some kind of fear. So it can require a lot of healing and self-forgiveness and forgiving others, right? And starting to shift and adopt a new way of seeing things, new belief system. And the only way that I've been able to do this effectively is by continual observation of how I'm seeing and what I believe about these areas of my life, like money, work, relationships, continually observing like, what is my belief? And if it's going against what I want, or if my behavior is going against what I want, then there's some conflicting belief there. I want something, but my belief is driving my thoughts and my emotions and my behavior. So I need to correct the belief in order to make the change the behavior. So that's, one way, and I've done that through meditation, but the most powerful and effective and transformative way is through coaching, having an expert or someone who can identify what you're believing and challenge your beliefs and help you create your own belief system that fits for you and works for you. So that's, and there's other ways, reading books, shifting your paradigm by getting new information, observing how other people live, watching videos like this are all great ways to start to look at your world differently and create new beliefs about life, right? But from experience, it's been a lot of inner healing past experiences that created the beliefs, self-forgiveness, forgiving others. So there's a lot can go into this, into overcoming this kind of fear, this overwhelming fear. The third thing is trapped or unexpressed emotions. So the third reason is trapped or unexpressed emotions. When we hold things in, it just drains our energy, right? Our emotions are meant to flow through us, not to stay trapped in us. And when they stay trapped in us, we basically restrict the flow of energy, creativity, the inspiration, the motivation, the drive, right? The energy, essentially, right? That we want. So when we, what conversations are you avoiding? What are you not admitting to yourself? These are things that are creating conflict and draining your energy because you're not expressing them, you're not communicating them, you're not resolving them, right? And that is what I found the three biggest reasons why people experience lack of motivation, drive, and just low energy throughout their days. And there are some other more external reasons, like making a change in your environment, actually making a decision and a change in your life, can all play a factor in your energy. But these are more internal reasons that will lead to you making a decision, changing something external that will allow to create more space and more energy to flow through you in your life and feel more motivated and driven. And, the way to overcome these things is just having those conversations that you need to have. Maybe accepting and admitting to yourself where you are and where you need help, right? And again, some healing involved there as well. So I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you next week, next masterclass. Peace.